It's been a while since I've made a video, but that's okay. Back to it. Today I just wanted to talk about how I hear a lot of women saying like, oh, we don't need men, and I just can't wait for all the men to disappear. Like, what? People saying that we don't need men in our lives or just at all is like completely absurd. First of all, like, God created Adam first, so there's that. We as women were literally created from a man. So, like, we were created from a man, so how can you say that we don't even need them now? But the whole idea, it's just so bizarre to me. Like, what makes you think that we don't need men in our lives? Like, how many of you are watching this like on your phone right now? Like, pretty sure your phone was probably created by a man. You know, I'm pretty sure the car you drive was probably created by a man. You were created partly by a man. Like, quite literally, you need a father to birth a child. And I saw a comment on TikTok a couple of days ago. This woman was claiming that she doesn't need a man even to have a child anymore. Like, has there been some sort of like new chemical that can be put into like a man-made chemical that can be put into our bodies? Man-made synthetic chemical, I should say, that can be put into a woman's body and create an actual fully healthy, functional human being? I don't think so. If there has, cool, like, but I really don't think there has. Even like, yeah, sure, you don't necessarily need to like have a husband or even a boyfriend to conceive a child nowadays, but where is that sperm coming from? If you go get a implantation, you know, at your doctor or something, and you get to pick out exactly who the sperm comes from, like, you're still needing a man to create your child. Like, men, like, we make the world go round. Men make the world go round, and so do women. Like, we need each other to keep existing, to keep progressing, to keep evolving. And I just want women, just everybody, people in general, to realize that you're saying, oh, well, we don't need men in our lives. Like, okay, so if men weren't around, you wouldn't be here right now. You wouldn't be alive. And if you're saying, oh, well, I don't need a man to depend on, I'm, you know, single, independent woman. Like, okay, well, do you fully support yourself 110% completely? Like, a lot of people, especially right now during the pandemic, you know, everybody's out of work, and there's like, you know, 3 million people in California on what is that called? Unemployment. So quite literally, you're still depending on a man. Uncle Sam, you're depending on a man for that paycheck every month. You know, unless you can fully support yourself off of a business that you built, and off of a business that you built, or a business that is fully woman owned, then like, okay, then like, yeah, maybe you could say that you don't need a man, like, a little bit, but still, in the grand scheme of things, you still need a man. And I don't understand why people don't even like want men around. Like, men are great. Like, I feel like a lot of people that say those things, like, yeah, this may get to some people, but, you know, the term of, oh, well, you just have daddy issues, like, that's a real thing. Like, yeah, it sounds harsh and it doesn't feel good to hear. It doesn't feel good when somebody tells you that, but in reality, it's probably true. Maybe you don't have daddy issues, or maybe you're like have traumas from, from maybe an ex-boyfriend or something like that. Like, either way, even if you don't specifically have like daddy issues, you probably have like some sort of issues relating to men in general, and it's better to move towards those issues and to confront them rather than just say, oh, we just don't need men. Because like if you really want like men to just like stop existing, then we as a human race will just stop existing. And then it just makes me think like, okay, if we don't need men, like how many mechanics do you know that are women? Like very, very few. Most of the time, if your car breaks down, you go to the mechanic, it's a man. If you need internet set up in your house, it's usually a man coming in. If you need a handyman, it's plumbing, electric. If you need your drywall put up in your house, it's usually a man. Like, even though you're paying for the service, you're still paying a man to do the service for you. He's still helping you out in some way, shape, or form. So just the whole idea that we as women don't need men it's just completely absurd, and I just need to spread the message out there that is just wrong to think, that's wrong to say, that's wrong to put into the ears, into the minds of our next generation. A lot of people say like, oh, I don't want to bring kids into this world because the world is so messed up and whatever. And like, yeah, I can understand that, but to me it's like, no, I do want to bring kids into the world so that way I can instill good thoughts, good habits, and a good mentality into them, so that way they can help everybody else throughout their generation. Like, the people saying that they don't want to have kids just because the world is so messed up, well, I think it's a little bit selfish. I think it's a little selfish, and I just don't agree. I think it should be seen as an opportunity to make the world a better place. But if you want the world to just keep going downhill, then hey, don't have kids. But if you want to actually make a difference and make a change and make the world better, you're supposed to leave somewhere better than when you got there. When you stay at a friend's house or something, you're supposed to leave the room cleaner than it was when you got there, because that's having manners, that's being polite, that's being a good guest. And in reality, we are all just a guest in the world. In the grand scheme of things, we're just a guest. This is not like our world, it's God's world. And we get to live in it for however long our lives last. And that's great. But the thing is, we should still be a good guest. We should leave the world a better place than what it was, how we started it. And the idea that we don't need men is not a good idea to instill in the next generation and the generations after that. We need to be honest with each other. We need to be honest with ourselves and say like, no, I do need a man, because men are great. Men do so many different things that like I don't want to do. I don't want to change the tire on the car. I don't want to shovel snow. I don't want to put up the drywall. I don't want to learn how to do plumbing and electrical. I don't want to learn how to change oil in a car. Like, no, all of those things are manly things to do that I don't necessarily want to do. And honestly, as a woman, like, would you want to do all of those things? Would you want to, mess up your acrylic nails or get your hands full of like grease and oil and stuff, and then it takes like a week to come off? Like, no. And honestly, like, we're just not built for that. Like, men, like, their skin is literally thicker than ours. It's partly why they age better than us too. But their skin is literally thicker than ours. They're literally built to do those more those harder tasks, those tasks that are a little bit more straining on the body and in the mind. They're just built to do those things. So I think we should just be honest with ourselves and with each other that yes, we do need men. So please stop going around and saying that we don't need men, or else, if you want to completely live completely off of the land, you want to just go into the middle of America and not have anything around for hundreds of miles, and you can sustain your life yourself completely 110%, then cool, you don't need a man. But until you do that, well, then you do need a man. So I will leave it there. I'll leave it there. Please, we do need men. Please accept that we need men in our lives. They make our lives better, just like how we can make their lives better. And yeah, TTFN.